If you are new to Azure, then this video will help you in understanding the Azure services. Here are the list of services which I am going to explain. So without wasting time, let's start. We will take the example of Facebook for understanding the Azure services. You have to assume that you are building Facebook from scratch. First, we have to understand how we will set up an environment in a private network with Azure. If that is clear to you, then 80% things are already in place for you. First thing, every application will have our users, and so will Facebook have. Then we have to locate the web server where the application is hosted. Now the application can be developed in PHP, ASP.NET, Java, Node.js or in any other language. This server will be accessed by the IP address initially. Then we will put a relational database where all the application data is stored. This database can be SQL Server, Oracle or MySQL. All this will be inside a private network, or you can say on-premise network, to make it secure. This is all you want for a very simple web application, right? Now tomorrow, with increase in website traffic, you will decide to separate your UI and business logic layers on different servers. For that, you will create two different servers. One is web server, which will contain HTML, CSS, Angular, React or any static code. Another one is app server, which will contain business logic layer that can be web API or something else. This is all what we call a three-tier architecture. We don't need this direct connection now, so remove it from here. Now you heard the concept of cache. So in order to improve performance of the application, we will put cache at each level. Cache will serve the frequently accessed data immediately. For servers, it is called disk, and for database, it is called DB cache. After some time, due to further increase in traffic to your website, you will do either vertical scaling or horizontal scaling. In vertical scaling, you will increase the CPU memory or storage capacity of this particular server. But in horizontal scaling, you will add new servers for your application. So here you will add new servers. To decide what traffic will go to which server, we will locate a load balancer here to divide the website traffic properly. Load balancer will balance the traffic between these servers. Second thing is the users will not access the site by IP address. They will use some domain name. In this case, it is fb.com or facebook.com. For that, you will use DNS right here. For a normal application and normal traffic, these settings are enough. But to build for high traffic complex application, you need more things. Next thing is, there are lot of images and videos circulated and uploaded in Facebook regularly. And it's not a good idea to keep all these files in the same server. Therefore, we will set up an external storage which will keep all these images and videos. Now sometimes these images and videos contains objectionable things like nude photos which you want to filter out before saving them to external storage. For this, we will set up a content filter here which will work in automated way to identify and remove objectionable things before storing them in external storage. Other things which are in huge amount in Facebook are messages, likes and comments. This data is so big that your relational DB is unable to handle them. Then you need a NoSQL DB like MongoDB, which is quite popular nowadays to store data like this. NoSQL DB are very much faster as comparison to relational database. In next step, we will include some analytics part for our application Facebook. You might know that your every click or activity on Facebook website is captured, and then it is used for showing ads based on your activities and clicks to you. This For this we will call click stream analysis. This is called click stream analysis. It is used to capture your actions in Facebook. All these clicks and actions will be saved in some storage like this. And then with the help of some big data analytics platform like Hadoop, analysis will be done on regular basis. One step forward, all this data is stored in the data warehouse. And with the help of business intelligence, some business decisions will be taken by the Facebook. For example, after doing the user analysis, Facebook can launch a new product for users, and it will also help in creating graphs and maps so that they can do a business analysis properly. So that is all set. Now let's try to improve the application performance more. Sometimes images and videos shared on Facebook can be shared in other websites also, right? For this, the direct access of images and videos will be provided to the browser so that server traffic can be reduced where only the images and videos are requested. Then the images and videos can be accessed by mobile application and mobile browsers also. For that, we will put a different external storage for mobile specifically. Why separate storage? Because images rendered or displayed in mobile are different in size from laptop. So first these images will be compressed and resized, and then it will be stored in a different external storage. Why we are doing so much things for images and videos? Because we know they are big in size and take time to download as comparison to normal data. So one last thing we will do for images and videos is to apply content delivery network in different locations around the world. For example, one user sitting in India has requested an image from a server located in USA. Now this image will be served to the user first time and will be saved in content delivery location of India then. And next time some other user from India will access the same image, then it will be served from the content delivery location of India, not from the main server in USA. It will make images and videos faster to download. Then there are some additional service which we can add in our architecture to make it fast. First is messaging queues and notification, like you heard of MSMQ series. This will help in delivering messages and notifications fast and efficiently, which will help in managing and delivering thousands of notifications smoothly. Then the last thing is a monitoring dashboard, which will present a dashboard which will keep checking the health of all the resources like servers, database, storage in a single dashboard. If there is any problem in any one of them, then it will raise the alarm. This is all about the architecture of an application, which is mostly similar in all other big applications. If you understand this, then it is very easy to understand Azure services. So let's start replacing all the on-premise services with Azure services. In Azure, the private network will be replaced by virtual network. which we also call VNet. Then the servers will be replaced by virtual machines, which are assigned by the Azure cloud. Then the disk storage is replaced by Azure Disk Storage for caching and processing frequently requested data. These have a limited size. Now in Azure you have a feature called auto scaling, which will automatically increase and decrease the number of VMs based on website traffic. This is a very important feature, as in normal scenarios you have to add the servers manually whenever there is an increase in traffic. But here, due to auto scaling, it is automatic and saves a lot of work. Then we will replace this database with Azure SQL database, which is the most popular relational database in Azure. It is same as SQL Server. One can also use the database here like Oracle or MySQL. The DB cache will be replaced by Redis cache, which is again used for fast processing of frequently accessed data from the database. For NoSQL, Azure recommends Cosmos DB, but the other DBs like MongoDB can also be used here. Now load balancer equivalent in Azure cloud is Azure Load Balancer, which will manage and divide the website traffic between the different servers. Then the DNS equivalent service is Azure DNS, which will manage the domain names like fp.com and do the mapping with the IP addresses of the servers. If you have observed carefully here, that the naming conventions of Azure services are quite similar to the generic naming conventions of the services, which make it very easy to remember and learn. Then moving forward, in the next step, we will replace the click stream analysis with event hubs, which will basically record all the user activities or clicks in the Facebook website. Next, we will place the storage, which will simply call Azure storage in Azure. Now the storage can be of different types like blob storage, file storage, table storage. Don't worry if you don't know them. I will cover these storages in upcoming videos. Then to replace Hadoop, we have Azure HD Insight, a big data analytics platform in Azure which will do the computation on the stored data. Remember, the computation can also be done for Cosmos and Azure SQL DB. Finally, we will save this data in Azure Data Warehouse. Then, with the help of business intelligence, which is called Azure Synapse here, business can get the details in the form of graphs. Then they can take decisions like launching a new product. So good so far. So far so good. I think it's clear till here. If you are a developer, then you might be thinking why we should understand the Azure Analytics services like Event Hubs and Azure Synapse. But it is important to understand the bigger picture to have a clear understanding of how the system works. Then it will be easier for you to develop the small modules which can be easily integrated with Azure Cloud. Okay, now the next thing we have in the external storage for images and videos. These storage will be replaced by Azure specifically used for storing images and videos. In Azure, we can take help of computer vision, or you can say cognitive services, which are popular for AI and can be used for filtering the content of images and videos on fly. Next thing is to convert laptop specific images into mobile sized images, which can be done by the functions in Azure. Functions are serverless computing. They do not need any outside involvement. You can use complex algorithms to compress and resize the images here with the help of these functions. Again, by going with the same naming convention, the content delivery network will be replaced by Azure Content Delivery Network, which will help in setup in the different locations in the world, and the images and videos can be accessed without latency. Then these messages and notification services, which are right here, can be replaced by Azure Bus Service, which will make these notifications fast. Then the monitoring dashboard will be replaced by Azure Monitor, which will basically help in tracking the health of all the components in the Azure cloud. Up to here, we have covered the services which are doing the actual work. Now we will cover some services which will make these virtual network secure. The first of them is Azure Active Directory. It is a Microsoft cloud-based identity and access management service which helps your developers, admins to sign in and access all these resources. What resource is available to which developer can be decided by this service. In short, it does authentication and authorization. Next in security, we have Azure Key Vault, which is a cloud service for securely storing and accessing secrets. All the information here will be saved in encrypted form. For example, you can save the database connection string in this key vault. Now we want our application to be accessed by HTTPS or not HTTP, as HTTPS is more secure. For that, we will be having App Services Certificate service, where we can register all the certificates. Every network has a firewall which will monitor and restrict the incoming and outgoing traffic, right? Similarly, we have web application firewall here, which we also call WAF, which will do the same job of a firewall. The last component of the security is security center, which is nothing but to make sure that all the resources in your virtual network are virus free and software compliant. Now to manage all these resources, for example, to add a new load balancer, we can do it via resource manager. And you might have heard of CI/CD, which is basically for deploying the application in one go without deploying each and every component separately. It can be done by DevOps. If you want to learn it in detail, then don't worry. I will cover this in the next videos. So that's it. If you have come so far, then you have learned all the basic and important services in Azure. There are lot many other services in Azure, but we can't cover all in a single video. You can like and subscribe the video, and I will bring new videos for you to understand the complex